pause you guys for a second here. We have a guest. Please, present yourself. Moe Rebuttal, I believe.
Hey, how's it going?
All right, so you're not here for any malicious purposes?
No, of course not. I'm just a guy on the internet with very strong views.
All right. Welcome to the show, sir.
How's it going, everybody? Thanks for having me up. I was listening, and I kind of hate to burst everyone's bubble here, but AI really isn't the threat that everyone's making it out to be. In fact, we're headed for an AI bubble. If you look across the market, there's trillions being invested, and the actual revenue that's being generated is only in the millions. Yeah, so it's going to be a repeat, very much kind of like the .com bubble. Now, keep in mind, the .com bubble was a bubble, but it was basically ahead of its time because we still have .coms. There's still a need for it. So much like that, I think that's going to be the case with AI. And if you're in the industry and you've gotten into automation and things like that using these AI tools, you quickly understand the limitations and what it's good at and what it's not, and that's what's causing the overinflation.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. I tend to agree with you. Mostly I think like eventually, right, like this is gonna be like a thing. The transhumanists are kind of like wild in their expectations. Most of what they believe is kind of like a religion and like science fiction, right? And they want to manifest this sort of false religion into the world, by like preaching about this false god or whatever. So it is what it is. I think most of it is just like sort of fantastical, and that
they think it's the magic box to solve all of our problems, and it really isn't. Unfortunately,
I have to disagree with that, because if you look like in the past few years, right, and not that many years actually, AI has replaced that many jobs. Like
it's replaced jobs as far as automation and things like that, but it hasn't replaced a lot of the core needs, the core structures of those jobs. So for instance, anyone who's messed around with it can take, like, if you're a programmer, right? If you tell, let's say, ChatGPT, I need you to write me a script to do X, Y, Z. If you take that script 9 times out of 10, you plug it in, shit ain't gonna work. You have to actually go through it, work through it, and then you end up just doing a lot of work. Now, what it's good for is if you're working through some coding and you need like a certain loop or you need certain things that you're going to repeat, you can just have it type that out. You can use it as an assistant. Now, I will say, as far as like coding, Grok does do a better job. So there is a difference between the two different LLMs. But it's definitely not a situation where companies are taking their coders and just like, wiping them all out and just having one guy with a chat box, create their entire infrastructure. That is fantasy. That is not what's going on.
Maybe we're comparing it to something like the Industrial Revolution, where at the same time there's fear and excitement, and it has its positives and its negatives, but we don't know what lies ahead with it.
Well, that's the thing, is like
the Industrial Revolution. Look what it's done. It's did things. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, the fourth industrial revolution is a real concept, but it has more to do with the economy than like AI stuff. So like
but here's the difference, right? So take let's take the internal combustion engine, right? When they created that and manufactured it, and they built it, they put gas in it, and it would go, right? It would work, and they would have issues. If it break down, they could fix it. You can't, with AI, to compare it to AI. You can't just like plug in things and it works and then it goes. That's just not how it works, right? You have to compare the two. You're kind of like doing apples to oranges comparison here. So with AI, you have to keep in mind that the market's going to reward things that work and that work consistently. And so so for instance, if you're trying to do an automation system and you have one module bring in data, and then it passes off to another module, and that's going to be your AI module, and you're going to tell it to do something, you need whatever that module spits out on the other end to be 100% consistent within certain parameters. And that's not the case a lot of times. I'll tell you where AI excels. AI excels when you have something like a chat bot, and it sits in front of maybe some level 1 techs or a help desk situation, and a guy goes there and types, hey, how many computers does this client have? It references the database and says, this is how many. It's a very, there's no ambiguity there. It's referencing data. It brings it up and gives it to you. So it allows people who aren't very technical to have normative language to chat with a database without knowing all this technological lingo in order to get their job done. That's where it excels. It doesn't excel in do this entire infrastructure thing for me, and then it just goes and does it, and it's flawless every time. It just doesn't.
I'm interested to know some of his thoughts on the video. Were you watching any of the video that?
Hold on a second, Timmy. I'm just gonna take 2 seconds to welcome Mud Digger. Welcome to the show, Mud Digger.
What's up, y'all? I got my mic muted. I got some music playing, so that's why I got myself muted.
Who's got the dance music playing in the background?
That's me. That's why I got my mic muted.
Okay.
But there's something that it's AI is affecting education, because like kids nowadays don't even bother. Like you just throw everything into ChatGPT.
Yeah, sure.
Pass.
Yeah, and that's another
generation of like dumbasses.
Yeah,
who don't know anything.
Actually, the technology has caused like a lot of losses in education. Like, like when kids were doing book learning, they were apparently learning a lot more, right? When they brought the computers into school, there's a huge like loss in scores and all that stuff. Like attention deficit and all that stuff. So, yeah.
You're kind of making my point, right? It's
yeah.
basically a glorified. It's basically a glorified Google search. It's a really good Google search, right, for kids in the chat in the classroom, right? Now, does that make kind of dumb things down? You can make that argument, sure, but these LLMs, they can actually be a good learning tool, especially like, let's say you are someone who's coding. You don't know all the lingo yet. You don't know how loops work. You don't know how all this infrastructure is supposed to be set up. You can ask it questions, and if it's used properly, you can learn quite a bit from it. Now, it is one of those things where you do have to kind of take the approach of trust but verify. But it can expedite your knowledge and learning ability very quickly. So I think that people who use it correctly, like any other tool that's come up, if they use it correctly, you can get a lot of benefit from it. If you use it to just give me the answer and you copy and paste it, then yeah, you're going to have someone who doesn't know what they're doing. But that'll also reflect on the end when they get into the real world and they don't know how to do anything and they need a chatbot.
Do you think if we reflected like this on the pros and cons of technology, that we would have done something else? Because I don't think we would. I think nothing ventured, nothing gained, and that's where we're headed.
Yeah, I just view it as another tool. It's the latest tool, latest thing. I think it's highly overvalued right now, and I think we're going to see a bubble. I don't know when, but at some point it's going to pop, and then once we get to the other end of that, it'll be much like the .com. We'll still use it. It'll still be utilized. It'll just be more framed correctly in its use.
There's already been trillions poured into it before things are even ready. So it's going to be, might as well accept.
Yeah, it's probably just a segue into 3D virtual reality simulators. So that'll be probably the next bubble, the holodeck.
Well, there was even like there's all these companies coming up. There was one that got kind of a lot of views on it, where they had this robot and it was supposed to be AI powered, and it was going to be in your house and it's going to be your servant and all this other stuff, right? And they showed a demo for it, and the robot was doing things. But then looking further into it, they found out that demo where they showed it, it was actually a guy like the next room.
Yeah, I saw that one. I saw that one
controlling it, right? So it's just completely fabricated, right? And so they're charging $20,000 a pop for these things, and they're pushing this out with the idea that buy this, get in first, and we're gonna develop it, and it's gonna be great, and it's gonna work just as we showed the demo.
Was Musk.
I don't think
that
so.
Like hoax, right? That was Musk hoax.
Well, yeah, that was Musk. But have you not seen the new Boston Dynamics? They made like a humanoid called Atlas, and that shit, it's crazy because it's a robot that if it falls on itself, it can get back up, but in like weird ways. So it's like contortionist type of robot. If you look it up online. It's an actual
I've seen
thing.
it.
Yeah, but we've also
scary.
had version of that for a long time now. They've had version of robots small robots where they kind of learn to walk and they get up, and it's based on our algorithm. And you see that with just general programming algorithms where you can set a robot to basically learn the right way to do something, where you reward it with the right action and you discourage it with the wrong, and then over enough repetitions it gets it right. That's not really anything new. That's just the latest physical manifestation of that technology or framework.
So in other words, that's actually how far AI has gone with robots.
Yeah.
Fuck AI. Fuck the robots. Fuck all that bullshit, bro. We've all seen Terminator, okay? Especially growing up in the fucking 80s, 90s. We've all seen a Terminator.
Yeah.
Once AI determines that we are a threat, that human beings are a threat, we're fucked.
Well, you're also talking about true AI versus what we have, which is just large language models, which is two completely different beasts.
When we get to that point where we create something that is sentient, that thinks for itself, kind of thing, yeah, we're reaching that precipice. We're reaching that point where we're getting too smart for our own fucking good. At least that's what I.
Well, once we get true AI online and working, then we can, I guess, reevaluate then. But we're dealing with large language models, which once again is just a really, really good search engine with a personality that behind it.
Yeah, just so nothing to see here. It was just we were, getting in our imagination and.
Airport.
Is Moe Rebuttal an AI here to deflect? Yeah, I'm actually all AI. This is just propaganda to convince you that there's no danger.
It's quite a little thing you laid down. I like what you said, and yeah, definitely I'll subscribe to your channel. Blessings, man.
You know what? I think I've said this before, but I don't actually think the ultimate goal was to really create artificial intelligence. I think the goal is to create something that is believable, right? Because I mean, the majority of the folks are like, 80% of them, I'd say, roughly, are very low IQ. Like, like what is it, like 80? Very, very low IQ. Some people actually can like be convinced that these things are kind of like real or sentient, and they'd even get married to it. And have virtual sex.
Well, look at all the boomers on Facebook. They see AI generated art and they think it's real. A dog like walking a cat or something.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
We
So
you don't at the point where people are really like OT, like you were saying. We got half the population that are dumber than dirt, that believe half the shit they see on the internet. Especially all these AI videos of these animals doing things or people doing things.
Yeah, we got dogs that smile now.
Yeah, come on now. I can't tell you how many videos that I've been sent by friends of mine. Oh, look at this shit. Bro, it's fake. You can tell it's fake.
Yeah, but 2 years from now, you will barely, and 4 years from now, you won't be able to actually tell the difference.
Well, people that have been dabbing and playing around with it will. Like, I recognize everything that's made with AI, even in current movies and, TV shows and shit like that, and their intros and all of this stuff and little music videos and whatnot. I recognize it. I've been playing so long now with it that I see it right away.
Yeah, but look,
it's just how it zooms out, zooms in. It's just like the way it's used. Like, it doesn't have the same feel as if you had an actual cameraman filming the scene, right?
Sure, I do think there's a potential case to be made for that, I guess, idea of potential danger, right? Because to your point, yeah, you can tell pretty good now, right? It is getting better and better. There was even a case where there was an AI firm or something, or I forget the situation, but it was a call-in, and he called in to talk to Putin as Putin, and he looked just like him, and it was like this pretty interesting viral clip. So there is potential the danger there of if you have these images or these videos of world leaders saying things that could cause havoc. That could be a potential thing to look into. And
well, how about looking
some sort
at things?
Of regulation behind.
Well, wait. How about looking at things from an even more of a Hollywood perspective is like, what if they use this AI to just let's say that you're like not on the right political party. Here, let me put you into context here. You're not on the right political party, and we need to get rid of you because you're a loudmouth and you're causing problems. So let's just have you rob a convenience store down somewhere. Let's say you live in New York, right? So a convenience store that's pretty much down the street from where you live, and you rob that place. They have you on camera. The footage is there, and they knew because you were alone at the time, so you have no alibi or no witnesses to prove where you were because they all have that data of wherever you go, whoever you talk to, whoever you text. So they could literally just like wipe you right off of the face of the earth, and let you rot in jail for however long they want, because they can make continuous videos of you doing shit and always, committing crimes, and you'll never be able to disprove, like you can't say, no, it's not me. Yeah, but sir, you're on the video. We see you. Right.
Right.
So there's another certain amount of danger I can see manifesting out of all of this.
If I had to guess, I would guess at some point in the future there's going to be some sort of regulation or something to that nature where the whatever content AI spits out will have some sort of digital signature that can be verified or something to that nature. I feel like there's going to be it's going to get further along to where it gets so good that there's going to be steps that governments are going to take against it. I mean, look at anything like that.
Imagine who they could blackmail.
Right.
We had you having sex with this minor or something or whatever, and we have the footage. We're going to send that to your wife. Oh, it's not real. It's not real.
Right.
Yeah, but your wife is going to think it's real.
That goes along with the slippery slope thing, though, Is it necessarily going to be that bad? Is it going to lead to some Orwellian nightmare? Well, I mean, that's thinking of the worst possible scenario, right? And right now we have laws protecting your privacy. Who's to say we wouldn't have laws like this gentleman above me said, where, your privacy is still protected to an extent so that you don't have to be afraid to say the word Trump in a negative light, no matter where you are, or to, you still.
Yeah, I think that's wishful thinking. Because right now all the cell phone companies have like backdoors to all the data and stuff. So I don't know.
So you disagree, and you think this is going to be the next Orwellian?
No, not necessarily.
Real quick, I just want to say this one thing. Do you have a choice? That's the question I would ask to ponder. But I'll see y'all later. Cheers.
All right.
Yeah.
Peace, Dick. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, but I think Brave New World and not Orwell. I think maybe Brave New World, like the human beings will still enjoy themselves. All right, so.
Or
governments and you can look at any time something emerges like this, some sort of new technology or new thing that puts the government in some sort of jeopardy. They are always going to come up and regulate to some degree. I mean, look what they did with crypto, right? Crypto went on a challenge for many, many years, but once it started to actually become a threat to fiat, then now all the regulations come out. Now you have taxes around it. It's I don't think AI is going to be any different to a certain point once it gets into some of these fields where it is causing issues.
What do you think about data collection in terms of AI?
In what regard?
Well, do you think collecting data from people is going to get easier with all the newly composed algorithms and everybody online and new ways to get into people's information, kind of along the lines of what OTW was saying? The ability to, I don't know, like for health insurance companies, for example, say they are able to. Sure, that would be a good example.
Yeah, I think that with these tools, things like that will become potentially faster. You're able to scrape data and certain things to that regard, but also the market is evolving around AI. I'll give you an example. Cloudflare, which is very prominent. DNS provider, they have tools now built in to where there's anti-scraping for certain sites. So it's hard for AI to go in there and just scrape data at a whim. But as far as like data and protection, that sort of thing.
How do you know? I'm not
Because-
challenging you like a jerk. I'm actually
Yeah.
asking you what data do you have behind that, or what?
Oh, you could just go. You could just go to Cloudflare's documentation and look at. It's a feature you can turn on, and you can even compare it. Like if you're trying to scrape data from, say, a LinkedIn or other sites like that. Before these things were turned on, it was relatively easy. Now you don't get anything back in a lot of ways.
They all
What-
claim to be secure too.
What
Say
about
again?
what about this?
Sorry.
What about the censorship that is actually programmed into the AI?
Oh yeah, you're gonna have. I mean, like with ChatGPT, right? You compare that to Grok. There's lots of censorship and things that are built into the algorithm to present what the creators believe is the right think. If you go to Grok, you'll get like different answers. It's a little more loose with what it'll talk about. There's certain subjects, unless you try to trick ChatGPT into, it won't even discuss with you because it views it as too sensitive or.
Well, yeah, like
politically correct.
the Hitler mustache. You were talking about video
Right.
generations. That's my mustache. That is not Hitler's mustache. So
Right.
when I put in a photo of me with a short mustache and AI refuses it, the opposite and perverse thing is that ChatGPT with these lawyers, when they use it to draw out their cases, will bring up case law that doesn't even fucking exist. Or for instance, when police officers use it to write their reports, and all of a sudden in the middle of the report it says, and then the police officer turned into a frog. I shit you not. That's the output of AI.
Yeah, and that kind of goes to what I was speaking on earlier, that it's
Trust
flawed
but
in many
verify.
ways. Yeah, it's flawed in many ways. If you think you're just gonna have it take over completely a job and do it from beginning to end, you're kind of fooling yourself.
Well-
no
Wait.
company is currently doing that.
Well, and to believe that it will actually do what it's supposed to do
Right.
and put
Yeah.
reality on the table when it's already programmed to censor reality.
Yeah, there is quite a bit of censorship in these large language models.
Yep.
Now there is a way for you to take, if you have the hardware to do it, you can actually host your own large language model, and then you can basically have an uncensored version yourself. And I think that will become more readily available as things go on. People are going to have their kind of like 3D printers, right? You're going to have your own in-home version, and it won't be censored. So there's that option as well. But right now, it does take
like
quite a
our
bit
own
of-
personal Jarvis. Now that's what we all need,
Yeah.
right?
That's given
Yeah.
to you by a company that could selectively take information. It could also have a backdoor to the information you give the AI. Honestly, this is what the reality is going to be.
There's I'm not going to say there's not a potential for that, but it's also you're building the AI yourself based on the framework. So if you kind of have an idea of what you're doing, you don't leave anything open. You can actually watch the traffic coming from your network to see what's going,
Right. It's
what's
like how you
coming.
get like a Little Caesars pizza kit. All right. Like it's
Yeah.
like you make.
I
your
mean,
own
you could
pizza.
even theoretically do a completely enclosed network too, just completely cut off from the outside. You could have your own, enclosed network, and then it has no physical way to get out too.
Yeah,
So you
but
can do
that network,
if you want to.
yeah, and that network, taking in the detail, the whole network has to have its own servers. In other words, each participant has to have its own server to keep it locked in there. If you're using any kind of outside server, then it gets exposed.
Yeah, if you have a cloud-based server, then there's potential. Where's it hosted? Who's managing it? That's always a potential danger. But honestly, that's with anything. That's why a lot of companies are hesitant to do cloud hosting for sensitive data. I mean, that's the case across the board with anything that's sensitive.
Yeah, that's like your own home groups on your computer network, on your internet at home. You've got mom and dad's internet, or dad's internet, mom's internet, and they're all classified and they're all programmed in the same family group. It's because it's all working on that same internal server in the home. And that would be the same with any external network. You would all have to have your own servers related familial that is not included in the outside. And that's the hard part about those private.
Isn't that called an intranet?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be the best. You have your own Google thing. You have all of the database. You have, all of the information that you feed it is unbiased. It's just data, like pure.
Impossible to be unbiased. Feed it unbiased data.
Well, you could feed it your bias, and then you would have your own based robot.
Correct.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I guess you could say that.
Yeah.
No rebuttal. I have a couple questions for you because you seem to know a lot about this, but they're kind of on the personal end, so you don't have to answer this. They're out of curiosity. Do you work in this industry in some way, in IT or some related way? And
I do.
Are you invested monetarily in any way, shape, or form in this technology, like a commodity or I don't know.
No.
Do you have a
No,
vested interest?
The only vested interest I have is AI tools and how they help clients, because I own a managed service provider for IT support for businesses.
Then you would.
So,
then you do. You do have a
Yeah.
monetary interest in it.
Well, I have a monetary interest as far as what these tools can provide from a day-to-day to improve a business.
Because you will be selling it as part of your
Potentially, but that's why I'm painting the framework here that I've tried to see what these things are capable of, and from a business standpoint, they're not 100% reliable in many ways.
So thanks for admitting your anti-fear mongering is completely biased.
Yeah. I'm actually just completely digitally created. I'm actually an AI, But I've and also I'm not, I would say, an AI expert. I'm speaking mostly from my interactions with it, what I can understand from being in the industry for the IT industry for about 20 years. That's where I come in with it. It's just to me, it's just another tool that's greatly overhyped at this point.
I think overall, it's all about money. Not necessarily about progress as much as it really is about money. That's why I ask those questions. But you're not on in court of law right now, or on jury or trial or whatever.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, we were sort of talking about there's possible applications of AI technology that have been foreseen, right? Such as the use in self-replicating machines, right? There's also the use in nanotechnology. There's also the use in pharmacogenomics and other such, avenues, right? That could be, potentially dangerous, right? So there's a sort of a, different array of technological dangers, right? That have come about since the previous age, right? Because the previous threats were sort of nuclear and biological, right? And chemical. Right, but they've advanced now to genetic, nanotech, and robotic, and of course, all of these systems can be enhanced with AI and self-replicating, viruses, so on and so forth, right? Things that are basically, as we talked about the issue of machines programming other machines and self-replicating machines. And this being a foreseeable danger that's mentioned by people like Ray Kurzweil and Promise and Peril, and other such people have mentioned things.
So are you saying that's a potential future problem, like self-replicating machines that might be an issue, or I'm just trying to understand what you're saying here. You're saying that's something to look out for, or are you saying there's currently self-replicating machines?
No, I'm just saying that in the current, move from nuclear, biological, and chemical, right, to the advancement of, this next phase, right, which is, genetics, nanorobotics, right, also, AI systems and robotics in general, right, that is a different departure, in terms of technological capacity, right?
Yeah,
so,
you can even
many
look
people
at
have acknowledged that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can even look at the advancement in the military-industrial complex, right? They're looking at fighter jets now that'll be accompanied by 4 to 6 unmanned drone type
Right.
fighters that
Yeah,
can
exactly.
fly around. I mean, this is like StarCraft level.
Yeah. The drone wars
situation
of
here.
the drone wars of 2035.
Right. Yeah. So I do think though, no matter. Okay, so in that situation, you advance to a certain degree where you have these drones. The warfare starts to change quite a bit, but I don't think you'll ever get away from having armies, boots on the ground. That will always have to be a present because
True.
if if the technology gets knocked out or something of that nature, you can't be completely naked.
Exactly,
You
yeah.
still have to have a standing army of some kind to defend the nation.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Isn't it funny that you get this new, creative, very cool technology that can be used like nanotechnology, and it has the potential to come up with cures for cancer and think in ways that complex ways that humans can't possibly think in, and all the great implications in life-saving things, cures, whatever that could come to help solve these horrible ailments. But we're also thinking about war too. Well, how could we use this for war? I just think that's kind of paradoxical. And
It's going to be used for war first. Like that's how the internet was created, right? It's created like defense advanced research project, right? So so
that's
this is
where
the
our
thing,
money
is
is.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's always going to begin as a military advancement. So people are kind of like sort of disillusioned that there's like these small startups that create these big technologies and they have innovative and new ideas, but it's actually just the military creating it from top down and creating research projects that they funded for billions of dollars.
Oh, this has gotten so negative. I'm sitting here thinking, oh, cures for cancer. How wonderful, how terrific, how stupid. Because
I think a lot of that will probably come from the private sector to some degree.
Chemotherapy was mustard gas, right? They found out that it killed cancer cells, so they used it for cancer, right? So,
well, that's how they get these things started.
There's a direct connection,
too.
Yeah, between military research and even chemotherapy.
Yeah, it's always going to be, where the money goes. What generates the most amount of money or government sovereignty.
Well, with money too comes corruption, and so all of those fears that people on the panel are talking about are actually real factors to worry about.
Yeah, it's. I think you're right. I mean, I think we've seen that throughout history, like to the point that he was making. The internet itself, the protocol to create the connection and for internet connection came from a military viewpoint, and that's how we are able to currently be on this panel and talk to each other.
Yeah, well, absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Unless you're George Washington.
Yeah, and the objective factors of power are the technological means. So, I would,
You just nailed that home. That's what your show is all about.
Exactly.
Completely. And you just brought it all the way home.
Thank you, Linz.
Yep. Bam. That's why there's silence right now.
Well, good talk. I just wanted to pop on and chat a bit.
Do you have a channel?
You having me up? I do. I mean, most of the time you can see me on Speakeasy, either doing debate or participating in some form of debate over there.
Oh, the verbal combat.
Yes, sir. I do have my own channel. It's in work in progress. Still figuring things out. I'm very much new to debate and this whole online community situation. So,
yeah, I'll debate you, bro.
Yeah, welcome to OTW Live. This is my channel, and I don't know. Have you been here before?
No, sir.
Oh, okay.
First time.
Well, this is cool. Glad you came by. Yeah.
All right. Take care, guys. See you next time.
You're always welcome back.
Good to meet you.
Say hi to Speakeasy for me.
I will. Take care.
All right, peace.
Yeah, he doesn't like us.
We care a lot.
I don't know. I got a different feel from him.
Well, tell us.
Yeah, just don't leave us hanging like this, Zabalba. Come on, man.
We'll put him on the spot.
No, I just got Fed vibes. I don't know why. Fed
Fed
vibes.
vibes.
Oh, vibes. Sorry, I was wondering. I was like, what the hell did you just say?
Did you not? I don't know. Was it just me?
What
Well-
type of Fed?
Yeah, what are you talking about? You feel like you're being
Never
listened
mind.
to, or